Welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing what is my favorite dish, which is chicken and noodles. I know recently I put a recipe online for turkey and noodles, and I know that I got some comments saying, well, I've been looking for your favorite dish, and this dish is really similar to that. The only difference in it is that I'm using parts of chicken and not turkey parts. Now here I have gizzards, which is something that I love, and this is what I put into my chicken and noodles. And I also use chicken thighs. I don't use whole pieces of chicken. You can use whole pieces of chicken if you like, but I found that the thighs are juicier and they're more moist, and I like this with my chicken and noodles. Now along with this, I'm going to go away and I'm going to wash up my ingredients and get them cut up, and then I'm going to come back in order to do this dish. Now along with the gizzards and the chicken, I also have a onion, which I'm going to chop up. I have, this is 3 celery stalks, but actually it'll work out to be 2 because this is just a half one. I have 2 bags of noodles. Here I have a half stick of butter. My favorite ingredient, all-time staple in the world, which is Lipton onion soup mix, salt, garlic powder, and cream of chicken soup. This is a relatively easy dish to put together, so I'm going to go away and wash everything, get it prepared, and I'll be right back. I needed to come back as I was washing the chicken because I wanted to show you an important step in this. So here I've washed all of my chicken except for a couple of pieces. And with some of my chicken, I leave the skin on. With some, I take the skin off like I did this, and I just cut that little bit of fat, this excess fat that may be on the chicken, I cut it off. So I just take the skin off. And I told you this is chicken thighs. So I rip the skin off. And once I rip the skin off, underneath there is a layer of fat, and I just take that fat off. Now, with some of my pieces of chicken, I leave the skin on, but I've already left, and there's always a layer going down this side, and I just take that layer of fat off as well. And I'm only cutting the fat. Okay, and any other excess that I may see, I'll just go ahead and take it off. Now, some of my pieces I leave the skin on. Some of my pieces I take the skin off. I don't eat the skin, but the skin is good for flavoring, but I don't need all of that skin. So I just pull it off, cut the piece of fat just underneath here, and there's always a line going down here, and I just take that line off as well. Okay? As much of it as I can get off. And if I see any other fat that I don't want, I take it off, because the skin that I left in the pot, that's going to provide a lot of flavoring for me. Okay, one other thing I want to show you is with the gizzards. If you choose to use gizzards, on the back of your gizzard there is a separate hard skin that you don't want to eat. So you just peel that hard skin off, and up underneath it is the gizzard. Now, I only found a couple, and in your pack you'll find a couple that are like this. You may need to take the skin off. But I had one that was had the skin fully on it. See? See that? You don't want to eat that hard skin. And it pulls off real easy. Just take it off. See? And then your gizzard is up underneath. So I've already started to wash these. I'm going to wash the rest of these pieces, and I'm going to drop them into my pot. Now, when you're getting ready to, you want to determine how much water you put in a pot. That's determined by how much chicken you have. So for this particular pot, it's half full of chicken. The only thing I want to do is put just enough water in to cover them. So I'm going to add my water to the pot. And if you need more water, you can add more water, but if you don't do it. Now, if you look down in this pot, my chicken is just covered with water. That's all that I'm going to need. So I'm going to take this and put it on the stove, and I'll meet you. Right now I'm at the stove, and as you can see, there's a little bit of steam coming up from this pot. So this is at the point that you want to add your onions and your celery. And I did that with that, you know, I chopped it up like that with that little food processor that I showed you the other day. You want to put in your garlic, your salt. Now, the reason why you put margarine or butter in, because you know you get that little foam on the top of your chicken. Well, this cuts that down. So, you won't get that with that. If you put just a little bit of margarine, butter, whatever it is that you're going to use. And you don't have to use the celery. You can use a can of celery soup if that's what you choose to do. But I'm already using the cream of chicken soup. So this is all that I'm going to use. Now, I'm going to also add my favorite seasoning in the world, which is my Lipton onion soup mix. Now I'm going to cover this pot and I'm going to allow it to cook for, and it's boiling on the top of my stove on medium heat. I'm going to allow it to cook for 30 to 45 minutes, just until my chicken is done. If you notice, I haven't added the noodles, and I did not add this cream of chicken soup yet. So I'm going to allow it to cook for 30 to 45 minutes, and once my chicken is almost to the point of being done, I'm going to come back. I just wanted to bring you back to show you something. Okay, and I'm going to take this pot off. You see my pot is boiling real good, but you see I didn't get that foam, and that's what I was talking about. So a lot of times you can get foam on the top of your chicken. If you put some oil, butter, or margarine into that pot, it'll cut that foam out. So now all I have is flavors. I don't have to do any skimming or anything. It's not ready yet, but I wanted to come back and show you that, just to show you how to eliminate that foam on the top of your pot. So we'll be back once this has cooked for about 30 to 45 minutes. So it has roughly about, I don't know, another 20 minutes. Okay, we're back, and my chicken is very close to being done. So what I'm going to do, take any piece I can get right here. I'm going to show you. Now I'm able to stick this fork in this chicken and twist it. See that chicken? Okay, that's the way you want your chicken. Okay? So, now is the time. Got some of my onions in there. Okay. Now is the time for me to add my can of cream of chicken soup. Because now I want to flavor my chicken before I flavor my noodles. Yeah, my chicken has flavor in it, but I want it to be savory and good. So I'm going to mix that in. Now, it's about, I don't know, this is still my same, maybe a little bit less than my half a pot of water. So I'm going to add 2 more, this is 4 cups of water. I'm only going to add 2 of the 4 to this. Okay? And I need that because now I'm getting ready to put my noodles in, and I'm not going to follow the package instructions on the noodles. I'm going to do it according to the amount of chicken that I have in the pot. So I'm going to let this cook up for about 5 minutes just to bring it back up to the boil. And then I'll come right back and we'll put the noodles in and take it from there. Okay, now we're back, and as you can see, it's come back up to the boil, and I don't want to overcook my chicken. So that's only been like about 5 minutes for it to come back up to the boil. Now I'm going to add my noodles. Okay? And I have 2 bags of noodles. Noodles only take 10 to 12 minutes in order to cook. So I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to let it sit for another 10 minutes. That'll be the end of that cooking time. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, these noodles will eat up the liquids that's in this pot. Okay? So, we don't have to worry about that. Now you see a lot of juices. See a lot. You won't see as much when I come back. Okay, so the noodles are in. I'm going to put the top back on it. And I'm going to let it cook for, like I said, another 10 minutes. Then I'm going to cut it off, let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, and we'll be right back. And I have allowed these noodles to sit for 5, 10 minutes. Might have been about 10. Okay, there they are. And I told you that most of the water would have gone because the noodles will just drink up the water. So I'm going to dish this up so that you all can see how this came out. And this is my favorite dish in the world. I love it. I could eat it every single day. I love chicken and noodles. And especially with the gizzards. See if I can get a couple. I see 1, 2. Okay. So I'm going to add them to the plate as well. Okay. I'll try to clean it off a little bit for you. Alrighty. That's a dish that I was raised up on, and I've grown to love it even more and more as the days go by or the years go by. My mom used to cook it all the time, and now I find myself cooking it for my children. And I guarantee you, take a look in this pot. Okay? I guarantee you, when we get through tonight, there won't be any left. Okay? So, just want to give you one of my all-time favorites, and as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.